A government shutdown and the debt ceiling fight are two different things, and I don't want people to be confused, so let me explain exactly what it is. So we are careening to a government shutdown. I know somebody may ask, now didn't we just go through this when we was fighting over the money? Well, baby, that was the debt ceiling. We were fighting over the debt ceiling, okay? Both of these things have to deal with money. Both of these things can only be moved forward by Congress. They are two different things. The debt ceiling fight that we had when we were talking about the credit rating and, America falling off a cliff if we don't raise the debt ceiling, was us paying our bills. And since Congress has the power of the purse, they are appropriations, our lawmakers up there in Washington, D.C. have to vote to increase, to give money to pay our bills. Kind of like your credit card, which some Republicans misuse or misconflated by saying, if you have a credit card, we don't just allow people to keep spending. It got to get shut off at a certain point. Debt ceiling is like a credit card in that we've spent it. Now we are voting to pay the bill. Not just to keep spending. That's not what that is. That is what a budget or a continuing resolution is. But okay, come back. Debt ceiling. We've already cleared that hurdle. We raised it. Cool. Well, not cool because Biden gave us some stuff about student loans in there, but then he hit them with the pow with that save plan after the fact. But that's neither here nor there. So we've already increased the debt limit. Now, we are coming up on a government shutdown, which means Congress as well, up there in Washington, D.C., has to vote to give money to agencies so that they can continue to operate, like the IRS, like the Environmental Protection Agency, like the FDA, CDC. All of these agencies within the government need money to keep functioning because you got to pay the people that's doing the work, doing the research, and, basically doing the work. So if they don't vote to avoid a government shutdown, the government will shut down and certain agencies will not be able to operate. Now, the good thing for people who work for the government is if your agency cannot operate, you are going to be entitled to the back pay. So whenever they decide to get their stuff together, you get to come back to work and get your check for them days that was missed because it wasn't your fault. The bad thing is certain industries rely on certain agencies to operate because that's how they make their money. Think food services. If I have a restaurant next to a government building and my restaurant is popping and 80% of my clientele are the government workers that work in this building, but the government is shut down, meaning they're not at work, I don't get no check for cutting y'all some cheese, serving up pasta, shrimp, and things. Pasta and lobster, I think that's what the young lady said from the man that's on her roster. So everyday folks get hurt by a government shutdown. Our society at large gets hurt by a government shutdown because the government is doing vital work to, one, protect us, to push research forward, baby, and to make sure we're still a world power and we're on top of this thing. So we'll see. We know that the Congress is divided. The Democrats have the Senate, well, kind of with Joe Manchin. And the Republicans have the House, limited by 4 extra seats. Y'all remember the election. They'll be battling this whole thing out. And that goes to the impeachment. Let's take a tinge, draw a line. The impeachment allegedly, or the impeachment inquiry Kevin McCarthy and them want to do. Some of his right-wing Republicans are tying the government's shutdown or government spending bill to that. They wouldn't vote for it if he didn't start an impeachment inquiry. Really an impeachment, because Matt Gaetz came out and said, you taking baby steps and I wanted you to take full-blown big people steps. So anyway, all in all, that's what we're dealing with. A government shutdown versus a debt ceiling. It's still money. It is still appropriated or voted on, passed by Congress in D.C., but it has two very different functions with two very different implications.